Chiapas is the best water ride in all of Europe. This Intamin log flume at Phantasialand is located in the Mexican section of the park, and it's one of the most visually stunning attractions in the world. And the ride itself is pretty great too, as it features the world's steepest drop on a traditional log flume. Although I use the word traditional rather lightly. Find out everything that makes Chiapas special in this review. In 1992, Phantasialand built the Stonewash and Wildwash Creek log flume. The attraction was removed after the 2011 season and set to be replaced with a bigger and bolder log flume. Chiapas was built on that exact site, opening for the 2014 season. This attraction is a beauty. The ride is flawlessly integrated into the Mexico Pavilion. Much of the ride takes place on a detailed rock mountain. Chiapas looks like something from a nature trail, especially because there is this windy path that runs along the ride's mountain and caves. And along with the visual splendor, you also have one of the best soundtracks of any ride. It's just so cheerful. You can hear the audio pumping throughout the area, both on and off ride. The ride's story is that you're traveling through a Mexican archaeological site, and there are some artifacts and posters in the ride's queue reinforcing this. And thankfully, you will not have to spend too much time in this ride's queue line. The ride has a very high 1,800 rider per hour capacity, and Phantasialand does not mess around. Towards the end of the queue line, there are different lanes depending on your party size, and this helps the park fill the entire log. So unfortunately, you cannot guarantee yourself a specific seat. The front offers the best views, especially if you're on the shorter side. But I like the back best because the drop is a little more thrilling back there. The only time the logs are not filled completely is if the ride is a total walk-on. Unlike most log flumes, this one features individual seats with seat backs plus lap bar restraints. But they are a royal pain to get in and out of. You basically have to straighten your legs and diagonally slide down into the vehicle. If you've ridden Ripsaw Falls at Islands of Adventure, the boarding process is similarly awkward. I really wish the lap bars could have swiveled from the side as opposed to lowering vertically to combat this issue. Now the restraints are fine enough during the ride. The one downside for me is because of where they sit, they'll pin your legs in place, so you cannot lift your feet off the floor when the logs start to fill with water. While most of your body will come off this ride perfectly and comfortably wet, your shoes have a good chance of coming off soaked. The ride starts with a covered turn past some archaeological tools, and then you reach the first of several lift hills. Unlike most log flumes that have conveyor belts, this one has a dual chain lift. The log takes a second or two to engage, and then you shoot to the top pretty darn quickly. This is easily the fastest lift hill of any flume out there. You then head into the first cave, passing an active digging site. You see all the equipment, plus a few ancient heads and paintings. This leads into the first drop. I like how it takes place under a decorative head, but the drop itself is just okay. This one does have the potential to be the wettest splash on the ride though if you're up front. You then enter another cave, get blasted with mist, and then you climb onto a turntable. These turntables engage quickly and are pretty swift. You then float backwards through a lushly landscaped temple, and eventually you reach the best scene on the ride. You enter the Templo de Fiesta, which feels like a dark comedy. You enter this cave lined with skulls on the wall, all while an up-tempo dance beat plays and multicolored lights flash. It feels like a club, and then you have this full-figured rock statue using bones to bash skulls like they're a set of drums. Whoever would have thought a subject matter so dark could be so fun? While you're busy grooving, you suddenly will plunge down a backwards drop. It catches you by surprise, and it gives a little free-falling sensation. This section ends not with a turntable, but rather this unique piece of sliding track that lines you up with another lift hill. This is another speedy one, and it brings you towards the top of the rock mountain. This section really lets you appreciate all the detail in the rock work. This leads to the final lift hill. You again zip to the top, and then you round a corner and head towards the final drop. Now you'll often pause here for a few seconds, or a few minutes if you have a super heavy and back heavy log like I did. The first time I rode Chiapas was with several large guests in the very back of the log, and the drive tires struggled to engage us and push us over the drop after we stopped. Eventually the maintenance staff got it fixed, and it just built anticipation for the drop, which is a 66-foot or 20-meter plunge at a 53-degree angle. Simply put, this is massive for a log flume. The drop reminds me a lot of the one on Ripsaw Falls. It may be a little shorter, but it is a tad steeper. And if you're in the back of the log, you'll get a tiny pop of airtime halfway down the drop. But no matter where you sit, the drop feels quite zippy. Rather than going straight into a splashdown, you have a high-speed pullout that gives some surprising positive Gs. You rarely get forces like this on a log flume. You then shoot over a bunny hill. This element gives a hint of floater airtime, but it's more about the speed. You then hit the final splashdown, which is quite refreshing. Chiapas then rounds a corner and heads into the station. This ends the 5 to 6 minute long experience. And then you'll have to struggle to actually get out of the logs, basically having to pull your legs up diagonally from underneath you. Getting in and out of these logs is the ride's biggest weakness. So needless to say, I'm giving Chiapas a perfect 10 out of 10. The ride experience itself is near flawless. You have immersive theming, both from a visual and audio standpoint. It really feels like you've been teleported to an archaeological site in Mexico. Plus, you have a long log flume plussed by modern technology such as switch tracks and daring drops. There's a reason this is one of my favorite flumes in the world, and it's a can't miss attraction at Phantasialand, even if it's a cold or rainy day. So those are my thoughts on Chiapas, the Intamin log flume at Phantasialand. What are your thoughts on this water ride? Do you think it's one of the best in the world? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.